Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and take this car on a little rip with the SI turbo install. See if we notice a difference. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is run this in map 3 on the TSP tune. And again, I have installed Mishimoto intercooler and charge pipes, an InGen cold air exhaust with the street MAF, a PLM up pipe and down pipe 3-inch no cat, and running K-tune with the TSP tune. All right. Let's give it some beans. Definitely, I'm going up a pretty steep hill, so that's a little bit of something, but I definitely feel a little bit more torque. I did get a little bit of slip on my clutch, I think, but it picked up, so we'll try it again once I get some space. You can see I have some traffic in front of me, and yeah, we'll tune in once I have more to show. And for everyone that's subscribed to my channel the last couple of days, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. I get a lot of questions on both the Facebook groups and the forums regarding the swap and what I felt so far. To be completely honest, guys, I'm going to wait to hold most of my feedback until after I get it dyno tuned by Derek Robinson at IMW. For one, I can't really tell you guys how the car's acting because I'm on the I'm on the K-Tuner version 1. This is the non-dupe, the non-Bluetooth version. So without a laptop, I can't really do live data logging. And then secondly, oh, here we got a nice little red light coming up, so we can do we'll do a pull up this straightaway. So that's awesome. But anyways, I can't really give you guys too much data. I can tell you that the car's been feeling pretty good. I've had it on the car for about a week now, and no issues. I've been running through all the different TSP maps. I haven't felt the car act up at all. So here we go. Here's a little one. Bad, guys. I had traction control on, so my launch wasn't the best. Didn't give me that much slip that time around, honestly, so that was pretty cool. But like I was saying, I don't have a lot of data logging availability right now, so the plan is to get this thing up on the dyno and ask some questions to Derek himself. I know a couple guys have already done this swap, so I personally feel, and again guys, this swap costs $250 if you're willing to do the work yourself. That's cheaper than a cold air intake, and I'm telling you guys, there is substantial gains over an intake with this modification. I'm going to go off of what I think is just an estimate, okay? So if we look at the SI and you look at the FK7 or the EX, you know, they both have the 1.5 L15B turbo motor, but what's the difference, right? What is really the difference between the two? Well, I'm not going to say my car's an SI. SI has awesome features. The people who bought SIs, you know, I buy Hondas my whole entire life. Everything from EFs to EGs to DC2s to I had an FA5 8th gen, and then, you know, kind of went to the family route, got RDX, and then I got back into this car because it kind of hit all the notches for me. I mean, I have a small family, 2 kids, a wife, so this car fits my whole family. It's fun to drive. It's got tons of cargo space. I mean, that's a big reason why I went with the hatchback over the SI. Does the SI have better stuff? Absolutely. Do I wish it came in a hatchback? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, this video is to show you guys, like, all right, well, what's the benefit and what's the difference? So one of the big differences between the two are the turbos. The turbo on the SI and the CRV have a 9-fin larger wheel. So that right there is one. The next thing is that the SI has lower compression than this car. I'm not even gonna say it. I'll put it up. I'll put the compression up. I don't know it off the top of my head, but it has lower compression, and obviously it has a limited slip differential, and it has adaptive springs and shocks. So adaptive shocks, not springs, but adaptive suspension. Let's put it that way. So all in all, you get a much more for the car, right? More for the money. But again, it came down to the chassis. And this one, I really like the hatchback. So what I want to do is try to make the most out of it, right? And going to that, right, the big thing that I think when it comes to power numbers, right, I guess we can go off the TSP website, right? And it shows some data logging and some dyno numbers. And if you look at the TSP Stage 1 tune on the SI and the TSP Stage 1 tune on the non-SI, there's, I want to say, a good 15 to 20 wheel horsepower difference between the two. I want to say that with this motor having higher compression and this motor now having the same turbo, I want to say that this is capable of putting out similar numbers to the SI on the TSP Stage 1 tune. That puts it at around, I want to think, 235 wheel horsepower. And that is the goal. My goal is to get 235 wheel horsepower. Now, as you guys can see, I went on a couple pulls, and I still able to get the power through the stock clutch. That is a big factor. Yes, could I go W1 turbo? Absolutely. Could I do E85 flex? Absolutely. Is the stock clutch going to handle that? Absolutely not. The fact that I don't have a limited slip, is that going to cause massive amounts of wheel hop and torque steer? Most likely. So what I'm trying to do is kind of do a budget-friendly build where I can have a really functional street car, comfortable ride, not insane, and get a little bit more power. And I think what everyone wants to do is see what they can get out of the stock clutch. Anyone that's looked into a clutch upgrade knows that there's not a lot of options out there. You got Clutch Masters, you have ACT, you have a couple other brands, but the biggest issue that through my research, is the stock feeling is gone. You're gonna have a heavy clutch, you're gonna probably have chatter, and a lot of those things are due to the fact that this is on a dual mass flywheel, not designed for a lightweight flywheel in a clutch, right? So now there's another option out there, and it's the Civic Type R retrofit clutch, and I've heard nothing but awesome things about that. I think for someone that wants to have or retain stock style drivability and have a powerful clutch that can handle what I believe that I've read is like 400 horsepower, that is the way to go. Now, for my opinion, I don't think I would do that because, again, it's about cost, right? Cost and smiles per dollar, as they say. And for me to do the CTR retrofit, from what I've seen, is well over $1,000. And that's if you do it yourself, okay? If you want someone else to do it, you're probably talking $2,000 just to do a clutch, which is insane. The one thing I will say is that this marketplace, with the amount of people out there buying these parts, there are thousands of us out there. I want to say I saw something, and like the Honda Civic was one of the top 15 cars sold in America last year, and it was in the 400,000s, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put it up there. A friend of mine shared it in one of our chats, but there's 400,000 of us driving cars, and I want to say a good 20% of us are modifying them. That's a lot of people buying parts. That's a lot. I don't know why the prices are so inflated for these cars with the ability to mass produce parts. Yeah, it's still relatively new, but at the end of the day, a clutch job for over $1,000, that's just bonkers for me. And I'll give it a reason to doubt, because to do the clutch on this car is not necessarily easy. There's a video that I'll link up here or somewhere. I'll put a post. And I think it's the ACT guys. The guys at ACT, they did a video on doing their clutch and flywheel installation. This guy's in my lane. Come on, dude. That looked to be very difficult to do, if not probably the hardest thing to do. I honestly think that by the time you do the clutch job, you have to drop the subframe and do all kinds of stuff. Man, you're better off probably pulling the motor and just building the motor at that point. It's just insane what you have to do a clutch on this car. You have to drop the subframe, drop the transmission, split it apart. It unless you have like the right tools, and there's definitely ways you can mess stuff up. So more than likely you're gonna want to go to a professional. So a clutch job over $1,000. I'm digressed a little bit, so let's get back on topic. The SI Turbo, CRV Turbo install on an FK7 is within the mind of keeping the most power to the ground with a stock clutch. This is going to be the end of the road until I look to decide to upgrade the clutch. If I upgrade the clutch, we're going E85, we're going big turbo, but until we go do that, I don't see a reason why not to do anything else to this car. I think that's as far as this goes on stock clutch. And then after that, you know, we have other limitations, but we will talk about those when we get there. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and pause it here, and I'll do another shot of us doing a little rip with focus on the tachometer. And yeah. All right, guys, so final thoughts. I'm pretty confident that I gained some power. How much, I don't know. I definitely want to see D-Rob and take it to get tuned, just to make sure everything's healthy. The other big thing is drivability seems to be better across the power band. I feel like I have a little bit more torque. I have a little bit more high end. We're not talking crazy power, but it's noticeable enough to make the mod worth it, in my opinion. Especially if you can get a good price. Would I buy this for $1,000? Absolutely not. That's what they MSRP for, but if you can find a CRV Turbo online for a couple $100, it's a no-brainer in my opinion. Now again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the car tuned. I'm going to have it looked over by Derek Robinson at IMW. We're going to go over safety, reliability, all of those things, see really where it lands, seeing if it's even safe to run it on the TSP tune like I have been. I think I have about 200 or 300 miles on it right now, and I kind of go between all the maps. And another thing I noticed is that without the TSP, like in map 1, the car still feels pretty responsive. Nothing like when the tune's loaded, but it's not as sluggish. Like if you guys know, when you're not running at least map 2 or map 3, the car is so slow, especially if you're used to just running it in map 3 all the time. But yeah, it was a good little cruise. It's a nice day, 70 degrees out, sunny, so figured it's a good day to take it out and drive it and give you guys some, you know, live impressions or impressions of the swap in person. Again, I'll keep the comments or the content coming through. I'm working on another video that I may have to do some research for. We're going to be doing a Brembo brake install video. I wanted to show you guys that. That's another great budget option for those that are really not happy about the stock brakes on this car. I will say that one was an awesome mod, and I really love it. And also, it makes the car look awesome. I love the look of the big brakes in the front, especially with my wheels. So, again, that's probably one of the next videos I do. And in the meantime, for all those that have been subscribing, commenting, and asking questions on multiple platforms, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. It's giving me motivation to continue to do this. And with that, I'll talk to you later. See you in the next one. Peace, guys.